The courtroom was silent until a little voice broke through the tension like thunder. "I'm hungry," said a small girl, only 6 years old. She tugged at her mother's skirt and looked up with wide, innocent eyes. Everyone in the room, the judge, lawyers, police officers, and visitors, froze. The girl's name was Emily, and she had arrived at court with her mother, Joanna, that morning. Joanna was there for a $250 parking ticket. She had parked in a handicapped spot weeks ago while rushing to get fever medicine for Emily. She couldn't afford to pay and hoped to explain to the judge. Joanna, 28 and a single mom, worked 2 jobs as a hotel cleaner in the morning and a waitress at night. Every penny she made went to rent, food, and basic needs. That morning, they left the house early without eating. Inside the cold gray courtroom, Judge Emerson sat high above the room, examining papers. He was known for being strict and emotionless. No one expected what happened next. As Joanna stood beside Emily and tried to defend herself, she said softly, "I was just trying to get medicine for my daughter." Before she could continue, Emily stepped forward and said the clear, honest words, "I'm hungry." The room gasped. Everyone turned to the tiny girl, speaking so simply in the middle of the courthouse. Joanna turned red with embarrassment. "Not now, sweetheart," she whispered. "My tummy's rumbling," Emily said sweetly. Even Judge Emerson looked surprised. He leaned forward, adjusted his glasses, and asked gently, "What's your name, young lady?" "Emily," she answered. "I like pancakes." The room, filled with tension just moments before, let out a ripple of soft laughter. A nervous chuckle came from one of the police officers. Joanna apologized quietly. "Sir, I'm sorry. She's just a child. We didn't have time for breakfast." The judge raised his hand gently to silence her. His face, usually hard and cold, seemed slightly softer. "Well, Emily," he said, "I appreciate your honesty." Then he paused, picked up a small bell, and said something no one expected. "We're going to take a 10-minute break." Gasps and whispers filled the room. Judge Emerson, famous for following a strict schedule, had stopped court for a hungry child. He stepped out of the courtroom. Joanna knelt beside Emily. "You can't say things like that, baby." "But Mommy," Emily said, "my belly was making noise." Minutes later, Judge Emerson returned with 2 plates of warm pancakes dripping with syrup. He handed them to the bailiff, who placed them in front of Emily. "Miss Emily," he said, smiling warmly, "will this help?" Emily grinned happily. "Yes, sir." While she ate, the whole courtroom, including Joanna, watched with quiet emotion. Joanna whispered again, "I don't know what to say." The judge shook his head. Sometimes it takes a child to remind us what's really important. After Emily finished, Judge Emerson resumed the bench and tapped his gavel lightly. "Miss Joanna," he said, scanning her file, "your crime is serious. But I also know you were just trying to care for your sick child. It's clear you're not someone who breaks rules for fun. You're a mother doing her best." Joanna held her breath. "I'm dropping the fine," he said. "Case dismissed." Joanna gasped. Are you serious?" "But there's more," he added. He took out a piece of paper, wrote down some phone numbers, and handed them to the bailiff. "Here are contacts for free food programs, daycare help, and job training for single mothers like you." Joanna's hands shook as she read the list. Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't have to say anything," the judge said. "Just promise you'll use these resources for your daughter. She deserves it, and so do you." Before they could leave, the bailiff approached again with an envelope. Inside, a restaurant voucher. Attached was a note. "Sometimes a small gesture changes everything. I hope this is the start of something better for you, Emerson." Emily lit up. "Mom, now we can have real pancakes." Joanna smiled through her tears. She finally felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Outside the courtroom, a reporter, curious from all the commotion, interviewed Joanna. "What happened in there?" he asked. Joanna looked at Emily. It was the first time in a long time that someone actually saw us, not as a fine, not as a problem, but as people. The story went viral. Judge Emerson shocked everyone. Known for being cold and harsh, he had been deeply affected by the little girl's honesty. Over the next weeks, Joanna started using the services he had listed. She found support, food assistance, and a training program. Life began to change. Emily became a bit of a star at school. The girl who told a judge she was hungry and made him smile. 1 week later, Joanna received a phone call from the judge's office. "He'd like to check in," said the assistant. "Also, there's a family housing program he wants you to know about." Joanna cried again, this time from joy. Months later, things were different. Joanna had a better job. She and Emily had moved to a nicer apartment. And on Emily's birthday, someone special visited. Judge Emerson, holding a small wrapped gift. "I don't usually visit outside of court," he said with a rare smile, "but I owed a promise." The gift was a colorful storybook. Inside it, a handwritten note read, "To Emily, who reminded me that even judges should learn to listen. Never stop dreaming. Judge, do you want pancakes?" Emily asked proudly. "Mom makes the best." Everyone laughed and sat down to eat, because what began with hunger turned into healing. With 3 words, a child reminded a courtroom and a judge what it means to have heart.